Hey folks, Mr. Dell here. We are going to be converting a given ratio or rate to a unit rate. So we're going to talk through that. This is coming from CPM's course 2, and I specifically am pulling this from section 4.3.2. Yeah, making sure I was on the right section there. And this is a review preview number 4-96. So it says Rainier bought 1.43 pounds, so 1 and 43 pounds of lunch meat at the store for $10.98. What was the unit rate price of the lunch meat? So, unit rate. When you think of unit rate is always some value, right? In terms of some unit, whatever unit we're dealing with, all over one of that other unit. Right? It's a unit rate. So the denominator of my rate is always a 1. Okay? So we've got a couple options here. I could figure out what it is, how many pounds, and pounds, the abbreviation is LBS. So do I want pounds, number of pounds for $1, or do I want number of dollars per 1 pound? What would make more sense in this situation? Well, when you go into a grocery store, normally what they're gonna advertise is price per pound, not pounds per dollar, right? They're gonna actually give you the price per pound. So this is the one that I want. So that's, if you weren't sure, that's the rate. That's the way to look at it. Is think about both situations: pounds per dollar or dollars per pound, right? And I think in this situation, because of the grocery store, you're always looking at it as what is the cost per pound. So that's the unit rate I want. So that being said, I'm going to set up my situation here, what they've given me, with this in mind, where I'm putting cost price on top. So the situation I've been given is $10.98 for every 1.43 pounds, right? So that's my initial rate that I was given. So now I just need to convert this. I need to do the math to make it, in this case, the number of dollars for 1 pound, right? So when we think about the math that's involved, it's a fraction. This is just a fraction. And in fact, I'll rewrite it so you see it. 10.98 over 1.43. It's just a fraction with decimals. So when you have fractions, you can do math that allows you to create an equivalent fraction, right? So I want a fraction now. I want this fraction to be equal to or equivalent to the fraction that has a denominator of 1. So that means the question is, how do you change the denominator to be 1, right? How do you create equivalent fractions? Equivalent fractions, you either multiply or divide top and bottom by the same thing. It's a giant 1. So in this case, I'm going to divide by 1.43, right? 1.43, or 1 and 43 hundredths divided by 1 and 43 hundredths is equal to 1. So being a fraction, you've got to do what you do to the bottom and the top, because it's really just dividing, in this case, by this giant 1, right? Those two numbers divided on top of each other are just 1. So I've got to do the math here to determine what is 10. And this is where I would say having a calculator out would be okay for this question. So 10.98 or $10.98 divided by 1.43 should give us, and I'm going to round, the top is money, so I'm going to round to the nearest penny. So it's 7.68. I'm rounding up to 8. So what does that tell me now? So that gave me my answer, that it's $7.68 per 1 pound, right? Per pound. So that's my unit rate. $7.68 per 1 pound. Okay. All right, there we go.